Hello everyone, and a very warm welcome to Nancy Said. In this video I'm going to be showing you how to make the foundation chain in crochet, absolutely crucial to doing good crochet work. And I'm going to be showing you how to keep them nice and even, how to keep them loose and stretchy, and also how to stop it from spinning on your hand so that you can keep control and really make it even. And this video is for right-handed crocheters. So let's get started. We need to start with a slip knot on the hook. So with the tail on the left, wrap the long part of the yarn around 2 fingers and push it through from the back and pull down, and that gives you a slidable slip knot. When we put that on the hook, we want to tighten it up a little bit, but not too much. We're aiming for almost a width, nearly 2 widths of spare space on the hook. I'm using chunky yarn with an 8mm hook, and I recommend you do the same to give you a chance to see what you're doing and to have something to hold on to. So when we're holding the yarn, we're making connections with our hand and our brain, and it really is just a memory lesson for that to happen, and that's why you have to practice. So put your hand out like this, put your forefinger in between those 2 yarns, making sure that the tail is on the right, forefinger under, and close your fingers over the tail like a girl holding a rose in a picture book, and imagine it's glued. Close now the rest of your hand around the working yarn so that we've got total control. Nice bit of tension here. The only thing in our right hand is the hook, and we're holding on tight, tight, tight with our thumb and forefinger onto this part right up close to the hook. So let's do our first chain. You're going to want to lift your hand, and I want you not to. I want you to hold tight here. Instead of lifting your hand, let's try this. We're going to tilt our wrist back and forth the whole way. So as if you're checking your wristwatch and then the inside of your wrist. So it's a really distant motion, quite a rotation. And when we're doing that, we're avoiding the need to lift our hand and lose control. So in order to get slack here, watch what I do here with my hand. I open up my fingers. That allows me to see the yarn, but it's still tight. So to get the yarn, I want to go underneath and lift that yarn up. Now we're tilting our wrist again. Do you see my hand, the palm of it? It's coming through, and we're pulling that through the loop on the hook and up. So we've got new slack on the hook. And without doing anything else just yet, slide your thumb up to preserve the height of the chain closest to the hook. And let's do another one. So I separate that so that I can see, lift it up, tilt my wrist back all the way so that I'm almost making my hand bring the wool through rather than the hook, and back again. Thumb up, and we're ready to start. Check the time on your watch. Separate, yarn up and through. Looseness, thumb up. So, feeling nice and steady, and I want you to keep tilting your wrist so that it's almost like this hand, the left hand, is putting the yarn onto the hook. And that means I don't have to lift my hand. Because if you lift your hand, it's going to start to spin, isn't it? And then you're going to want to hold on to it with this hand. And then you start this wrapping. You've seen your granny doing it somehow like this, like cryptic, and you start wrapping. Don't be doing that because you've lost control. You don't know where you are. Stop, regroup. Let's start again. If you do lose your place, slack on the hook, hand, slip that under, glue your thumb to the top, close your hand over everything, and start tilting your wrist. So that is where you win. And keep your thumb high and plenty of slack on the hook. So let's have a look at what we've done. Yep, our chains are looking rather neat. And this may take you meters and meters of chain to get as neat, but you want to do that practice. You can't really carry on in crochet without having this absolutely down to a T. Having said that, in the classroom, I don't start with this. I start with something to hold on to. But if you're watching YouTube videos, you're on your own and nobody's going to tell you this stuff because it's difficult to explain. But you've seen it done, and I really, really want you to try your hardest not to lift your hand and to let the tilting of your wrist be your guide. And glue that thumb real tight to the top chain of the row. So let's count these chains now. How do we count them? Because you know, it can be hard enough, especially if your yarn is fluffy or it's coloured. Start by tightening up your slip knot. You don't want to mistake the knot for an actual stitch. And if we're looking at these chains, we're looking at these little V's. So you could count the top of each little bump here as your stitch. Let's do it together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. The working loop doesn't count. So we've got 12 stitches. Now we'll never be asked to work into the first chain from the hook. We'll either start from the second, third, fourth, fifth. We could start anywhere. Let me show you what happens when we start our next row, because if the pattern says chain 12, then row 1 will be how do we start? So we might be asked to start in the second chain from the hook, which if that's the working loop, this is the first chain from the hook, and this is the second chain from the hook. So we would put our hook into the second chain from the hook, and I recommend just picking up the top loop only as a beginner. And then you'll bring that yarn through, and according to the stitch, you'll work that stitch. That was a double crochet. If we're looking to the next stitch over, that'll be this one. In and out, nice looseness, and then yarn over and through those two. That will be a double crochet, but that's for another video. So you've got that in front of you. So thank you so much for joining me and for practicing and for being so dedicated to crochet. It will open up a wonderful new world for you, and I will see you in every video that you ever watch. I'll be there cheering you on. So thank you and good luck, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.